Hello, my name is Roman Graneshin, and this video is recorded for the purpose of warning you about the low business ethics in cooperation with the company named RUSSTICO. This is a DMC company in Costa Rica. We had a very unpleasant experience of working with this DMC, Destination Management Company, and with its CEO, George. And I want you to know about the risks that might occur while working with them, and if you can advise, I would be also grateful. So here is the story. I'm the CEO of Ukrainian company, and before the war started in Ukraine, that was January 2022, I gathered a group of my partners, business partners, and invited them on the networking tour to Costa Rica. As a result, we have booked the tour, the ground, the logistical part, including the hotels and the excursions and all the part in Costa Rica through this destination management company named RUSSTICO. Their reputation at that moment was rather high. That is the reason why we decided to work with them, because we cherish reputation of our company and of our partners more than any profit. Until recently, I thought that was the case for George and for the company RUSSTICO. However, yes, when the war started, we were on our way to the airport. Our flight was 4 hours later, was scheduled 4 hours later than the air raid attack by Russian aggressors happened to the very same airport, Borispil airport, that we were supposed to be taking off. At that moment, everybody were sympathetic to Ukrainians, and both the air company and RUSSTICO provided us with credit or postponing of our travel dates for 1 year. In December 2022, seeing that we are still at the war and Ukrainian men cannot cross the border outside of the country, we emailed to George about this credit and asking him to prolong it for another year. We haven't heard from him until the beginning of February. That was about 4 weeks before the deadline that our credit is going to expire. Where in this email he said that the argument of war is useless because, here I quote, the Ukrainians traveled to Costa Rica and their season has been very good. I don't know what kind of information he is referring to or sources of information. I live in Ukraine. The group stays in Ukraine. And each of the participants have their family members fighting against the aggressor in this war. So we know and we are sure that this is not according to the law to leave the country. We had no opportunity to do it legally. When we provided these arguments, asking him to make an exception, of course, legally we understand that due to the power that we cannot control, which is the war, and according to the contract, each of the sides can drop their responsibilities and quit fulfilling the job. However, that was not the case at the beginning of the war. For some reason, he decided without informing us to do it in February this year. And I find it a deliberate step, informing us just 4 weeks before the deadline, because he knew we wouldn't be able even to buy the airplane tickets and find the hotels within this period for the traveling. Therefore, I would like everyone to know, and if you can spread the word, we still hope that the company RUSSTICO will reconsider and provide us at least with an option that is not losing all the money that they paid, but paying something extra and still preserving the possibility to travel in a year's time. So there was no dialogue. He said no 4 weeks before the deadline. That's it. Now that I tried to contact him myself, he never replied. So he does not consider us worth of his attention as a manager. I'm also owner of the company. I would never do it with my partners. And I think that is the right way. If there is a problem, we first of all communicate and see the options, but not say no without any options. There is also one more thing that we agreed to pay. We paid him 60% wired through the bank, and 40% I was supposed to bring in cash. As a result, he, Mr. George, referred to the contract, quitting his obligations. However, he demanded us to wire the remaining amount of the money without providing any services instead. We find it outrageous, and that is not the way respectful companies do business, at least on the North American continent, especially taking into consideration that the clients are not deciding it themselves not to travel. This is the objective reality in Ukraine. We are at war. Their relatives are fighting. And he, Mr. George, expects them to find illegal ways to leave the country for the purpose of having a vacation while their relatives are fighting for their freedom. That is unacceptable. Thank you for your attention. We are grateful if you can help us or recommend us what to do in this case. All the emails and all the communication with him is stored. We have proofs, and the contract is also signed. Thank you. All the best to you.